All right, so we're going to keep building on what we know, what we've learned about slope and graphing, and we're going to combine them, okay? It's more of what we've been doing already, but this time, instead of just graphing one equation, we're going to graph two and find a solution, okay? So we're just going to use everything we've already learned in order to graph two lines. Using the straight edge is super important when you graph this time, because you're going to have to get a nice clean line so that you can see where they intersect. All right, so for the first one, we look at it, right? What is in front of this x? Who's hiding there? Juan, right? Little Juan? Okay, so now I have this equation that says y is equal to negative 1x plus 1, right? What is my slope for that equation? What's my slope? Kind of, it is 1, but what? Negative 1, right? So m is negative 1. And when I graph that, I want that to be a fraction, so I'm going to put it over 1. So what is my b in that equation? What is my y-intercept? What does b equal? What does b equal? 1. Positive 1. Okay, so now I can graph this. Okay, what's my starting point for this equation?
1, negative 1. On the 1.
Positive 1 on the y, right? So I'm going to go to my point of origin. I'm going to find 1 on my y-axis. That's my starting point. So I found my starting point. What is my slope going to be? What is my slope?
Negative 1.
Negative 1 over 1. Remember, I want it to be a fraction. So what's my rise going to be? Is my rise going to be a negative or positive? So I'm going to go down 1 and then right 1, right? And I could keep going down 1 and right 1. So I got some nice clean lines there. It's just easier if you have more points to get a nice clean line. And I could keep going, and it also helps, watch. I'm just going to keep going, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. That gives me lots of points, right? And when I draw my line, I have a nice clean line that I'm going to label y equals negative x plus 1. That's my original equation. I'm going to label it. Okay, first line done. Let's go ahead and look at my second equation. This time I'm looking at this one. Okay, what does my what is my slope in my second equation? What is in front of x? What is it? 1/2. Thank you. It is 1/2. What is my b in my second equation? 4. Okay, I didn't have to do any math. I just have to know what my m is and what my b is. Okay, so now I'm going to graph it. What is my starting point for my second equation? What's my starting point? 4. So I'm going to go to 0 and I'm going to count up 4. Okay, my slope, what's my rise? Positive or negative? Positive what? So up 1, right 2. If I go up 1 and right 2, I'm off my chart already, right? But I can do that backwards thinking. If I went up 1 and right 2, I'm going to go down 1 and left 2. And look, do I cross that other line here? Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my line. But what? I'm going to label it. Yeah, but I told you that if you were listening, I said, if I go up and right, I'm off my graph. So I'm using my backwards thinking. And instead of going up, I'm going down and left. Okay, in order to get my third point. So this here is where they intersect. I need to write that answer as an ordered pair. So how do what are the coordinates of this ordered pair, Greg? Oh, sorry. What are the coordinates of this ordered pair? Come on, tell me. What is it? What are my coordinates? X and Y. What are my X and Y values for that point? Okay, but X first, so what's my X? And then my Y is? Beautiful. Good job, Andrew. That's my solution. Okay. You don't have to solve, you just have to find where they intersect. That's my solution. I graphed this one, and then I graphed the second one, and they intersected at this point here. So the coordinates for this point are -2, 3. -2, 3. Okay? All right, let's do one more. Let's do number 2. Okay. Oh, you're not done, Camilla? You have yours? Thanks, Justin. Let him look off yours. All right, so number 2. You guys are going to tell me. Okay, I need to find my M. I'm looking at this equation only. What is my slope for that equation?
3.
Slope.
Oh, 1.
Look at it carefully.
3. Oh, -1.
-1/4. Okay, I heard that from at least one person. I think it was Kevin. So what is my B? Thank you, Sharon. My B is 3. I can graph this now, right? What's my starting point?
1.
What is my starting point?
0. 3.
What is my starting point? So I'm going to go from my point of origin on the y-axis. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. That's my starting point. What is my slope now? What's my rise? What's my rise? -1. That means down 1. And what is my run?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. I could use my backwards thinking to get my third one. Instead of up, down 1, I go up 1 and left 4. And that gives me 3 points to graph. You don't have to, but I'm just going to tell you that sometimes by doing this, and you have more than one, and you have your points all spread out, it makes it much easier to find your solution. So let's look at our second one now. Here's my second one. What is my M for my second equation?
1, -1/3.
Look at it again. You're looking at the wrong one.
Oh, shoot. Oh,
-5/4.
Oh, well, I missed it.
That's okay.
Can I draw an arrow? 'Cause, like, I put it right here.
Oh, yeah. What is it, Jordan? B is equal to -1, right? So let's go ahead and find that starting point. From my point of origin, -1 is going to go down 1 on the y-axis. Now my slope is going to say -5, +4. So -5 means I'm going down 5. Oops, look, I'm off the chart. So let's do some backwards thinking. Okay, if I'm going the opposite, I'm going to go up and left. So up 5 and then left 4. What? Where am I? Right at that same spot that I already crossed with my other line that tells me that that is going to be my solution. Now, if I had done the backwards thinking, Kevin,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know that this is a point for that other line right away. So I know that this is going to be my solution. So what is the ordered pair for this point?
-4. Oh, 4.
-4, comma 4. right? Super easy?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just everything that we've been doing leading up to this point, the graphing, the slope, and the y-intercept. And it's all already been given to you so that you don't have to do any thinking. On this side, let's go ahead and turn the paper over. On this side, you're going to have to do some work.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry. So I'm going to do one with you, and you're going to do two on your own. Because the graphing part, you already know what to do. You're doing the same thing. Once you find your M and your B, you graph it and find your ordered pair. But on this side, you're going to have to do a little bit of work to find your solution. So let's do number 7 together. I'm going to rewrite my equations down here. X minus 4y equals 12. And then I'm also going to write 3x plus 2y equals 8. Now, right now, Sharon, this is what we were working on this morning. They're not in my slope-intercept form. I can't graph them yet. Remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Right? This is the way I want them to look. Right now, they're not there. So I'm going to make it so that they are there. Okay, so I'm going to look at my first equation over here, and I want y by itself, but I want to get rid of this x. What's in front of this x again? Quan, right? I need to move Quan over. So how do I move this Quan x? How do I move it? Subtract it. Minus 1x. That becomes 0, so I can cross it off. Okay. My new equation is going to bring down that negative 4y. And what am I going to write first? My 12 or my negative 1x? My negative 1x, because I want that to go first, because that's my slope, right? Plus 12. And now what do I do? How do I undo this operation here? That's right, Alberto. I'm going to divide everything by negative 4. Okay, this becomes a positive 1y, or just y. A negative divided by a negative, what happens to this fraction? It becomes a positive 1/4. I can't simplify it or divide by it. I want it in fraction form because that's my slope. And then a 12, positive 12 divided by a negative is going to give me what kind of an answer? A negative 3. Okay, so that was my first equation. I'm going back up here to the top. And what is my slope? Based on what we turned it into, what is my slope? 1/4. And what is my y-intercept? What kind? Negative 3. Sorry, I'm trying to get both ends. So my b is negative 3. That's the equation I ended up with. So I can graph this line now, right? What is my starting point then? Negative 3. Let me bring this so that you guys can see it. Negative 3. So that's my starting point. So from 0, I'm going to go down on my y-axis to negative 3. Okay. My slope, what's my rise? Positive 1. Up 1, always right to number 4. So there's 1. Now I have 2 points, but I can use that backwards thinking, remember? And instead of going up 1, I'm going to go down 1 and left 4. And that gives me 3 points. And it might give me the point that they're going to intersect on. And I'm going to draw that line. And then label it. X minus 4y equals 12. That's the line of that equation. So let's go ahead and solve for the second equation over here. What do I need to move? 3x, right? How do I move it?
Plus 3.
It's already plus, so what's the opposite of plus?
Negative 3.
Minus 3x. Minus 3x. Both sides. This becomes 0. I'll bring down what's left. What's left? What's left?
Oh.
2y. What am I going to write first? Minus 3x or 8?
No, 3x.
Minus 3x and then plus 8. Almost done. Y is not by itself. How do I undo this?
By dividing.
I'm going to divide by what number? Positive 2. That becomes Juan, right? Positive 1y. So y is going to equal, I have a negative 3 over 2. Can that simplify? Reduce? No. So let's leave it in that form. Negative 3 over a positive 2. X tags along. I have a positive 8 divided by a positive 2. What does that give me? Positive 4. So for my second equation, what is my m going to equal? Yes, thank you, sure. Negative 3 over 2. And what does my b equal? B equals 4. So now I can graph it, right? Let's find that 4. Positive 4, so for my point of origin, I'm going to go up 4 places to that spot there. Now my slope is negative 3. So am I going to go up or down on this rise? Down 3. 1, 2, 3, right 2. Can I go down one more? Let's try it. Down. 1, 2, 3, right 2. Oh! There's my answer. That's where I intersect. This is what I want to graph. Isaiah, you with us today? And then I'm going to label it 3x plus 2y equals 8. But what's my actual answer? What am I looking for? Right, my ordered pair of 4, comma, negative 2. Okay, is this a little bit of work? Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Not too much. This side is probably a little bit more than the front side. Front side, you're just finding your M and B's. My suggestion to you right now is you work on 5 and 6 while you're here in class and I can help you. And then you finish the other side next. Hopefully you'll have enough time to get it all done in class. Any questions? All right, get to work.